There was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think.
Wow, that's an impressive memory. There actually was. Like, oh my god, that's crazy. I don't know how people remember
So,
this.
the 2 keys that Jumpy has.
Should let us on the elevator and get the deck.
So let us use the elevator and the door on A deck, huh?
Yes, that's right.
June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa.
Mm.
Alright, I got it. Let's get started.
Let's get started then.
Well, what do you say we split into 2 teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you two can search Saturn, alright?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Jupiter and the Earth key to Sandy Claus. They decided that their initial search would be brief, only about 10 minutes. They'd meet back near the staircase once they were done. Oh god, this is a funny scene. Jupiter and June headed for the elevator. You want me to do the funny scene or the straightforward scene, Kilo? Because I'm gonna show them both either way. Do it.
Funny.
Actually, no. I want you to take part of this. Okay, you're gonna laugh so hard. Sure enough, there was a card reader bolted to the wall next to the left elevator. He lined up the Saturn key card and swiped it through the reader. A light on the upper left corner blinked to life. Great! Looks like it's working now. Alright.
Alright, now how do I call the elevator?
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do Junpei, you're gonna do June.
I.
There was a single button to the right of the elevator door. On the button was an upside down triangle, the universal symbol for down. There didn't appear to be an up button though. Junpei pushed it, he didn't have much of a choice.
Let's go further down into the sinking ship.
Look at that shit, that looks like a fucking prison.
It opened. Look, Jumpy.
June's voice was excited. Yeah, really. But Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety. Sweet, it opened. Let's get going. He grinned at June and stepped toward the open door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm.
Whoa, wait.
What?
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh.
Junpei was at something of a loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of. Okay, they could only go down, that's logical, but we're gonna do the funny one. Being locked up alone with a boy. So we're gonna do that one. After a little thought, Junpei decided that she had to be nervous about being locked up in such a small space alone with a boy. Or maybe she could have been claustrophobic, I don't know. In a way, it was kinda cute. Very demure, you could say, he thought. Still, even though it wasn't exactly roomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against one another. At least they didn't have to be. Still, it was kind of making her nervous. Junpei couldn't help but think how innocent she was. Come on, let's go. Again, he stepped toward the elevator. And again, he felt himself restrained.
I said, wait a minute.
Why?
Aren't you afraid?
Afraid of what?
Well, I've never, you know.
She'd never been in an elevator with a man alone before? That's the question, okay. Even so, she still seemed awfully alarmed.
I might get wet.
What?
Down there, I'd get soaking wet.
Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works.
We're on a sinking boat, of course.
I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else.
That's true. You don't mind
Mind what?
getting wet?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, like it.
Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave.
Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, you know? What happens, happens, right? If you get the chance, you just gotta go for it. That's what a man's supposed to do, I guess.
You're so cool, Jumpy. Grab my titties. I really admire you.
That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for.
I'm really scared.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you've never done it before.
Yes. So I don't think I'll be able to last very long, and it'll be over.
Over?
Yes, the elevator ride. I'll go to heaven.
Heaven?
It feels kind of like you're floating in space and your mind gets all fuzzy like when you pass out.
At least that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Total
Although
virgin.
I don't... Huh?
Nothing good.
Although I don't think the same thing happens to guys.
What?
Huh?
But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once it gets into your body, the same thing happens to everyone.
Well, I mean, usually it doesn't go inside the man. I mean, generally.
Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice. Your body will force you to swallow some of it. Eventually.
What are you trying to do to me?
Nothing. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just saying that that's what happens. I'm a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing.
Was that really how it happened? It occurred to Junpei that perhaps that was how it worked. Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. Jun seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror.
I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then, I don't think you could hold your breath for 20 or even 10 minutes. Eventually, you'd have to breathe, and the water would get into your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get oxygen anymore, and you'll start to feel that floaty feeling as you pass out. I should have whispered the whole time.
Oh man! Finally, Junpei understood. He understood what Jun was trying to say and why she was so scared. Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't last very long.
See?
She was afraid that the only elevator button pointing down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase, all of which meant that the elevators could only convey them to lower decks. And the floor below the one that they were on, D deck, should be completely submerged. Oh yeah, that's true. We did learn that.
I thought we were talking about sex.
That meant... Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right? Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you press it. Oh, wait. Well, yeah, we're not going to voice act anymore because we're about to conclude it real quick.
Alrighty.
There was a motor noise, like it was moving, and then it opened. Yeah, exactly. Yes. So let's take a look inside. Junpei jerked his head. Jerked his head. Yo, come on. You can't hide it like that. Come on. That's... Okay, I'm not going to mention it. Inserted in the elevator. Can't believe they were able to pull that off. It's not what at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry. You know what's different about this? The American, sorry about this, but the American version compared to the Japanese version, there were actually a lot of scenes that were like sexually involved, and they,
oh really?
They took it away in the American version. There was,
thanks Americans.
Like there was this really like one famous scene, I forgot what it was. I think it was like a bikini, like everyone's in a bathing suit. I don't remember what it was, but it was crazy. I think maybe someone implied that someone was having sex with someone. I don't remember, but it's pretty crazy. Oh, you're right. They are. She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed. Well, let's test it. Embarrassing. Yeah, watch this. And bang on the corner of the door until you can see the floor buttons. There were only two, E and C. He pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. So pretty much they want to test if there's water below this deck. Because, I mean, the elevator did come up from somewhere. It only goes down, so... Anyway, a few moments later, they heard the sound of the elevator door grinding open several floors below. Junpei nodded to Jun and pressed the elevator button again. A few moments later, the elevator returned.
Water just pours all over them.
It'd be hot if there were like some bitches there that came out. And the door slid open, just... Junpei expected no water to be found. See? I told you so. Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest just a little bit. Jun, however, still looked confused. What does this mean? It means the D deck somehow D deck's submerged, but E deck is saved. So water must be pouring from somewhere in D deck and only D deck. That means E deck can't be connected to D deck unless by elevator. There's no stair connecting it. That has to be the only explanation. Here's what I think: the elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight, separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you. He put out his notebook and pen. All right, what's that guy from Blue's Clues?
Oh, Steve or Joe?
Steve, the guy who draws mad nice.
I was thinking of Tracy from Pokemon, where he's like, let me take a drawing of that Pikachu, and it's like the most detailed thing ever.
I know, right? Look, this is the most pro drawing I've ever seen. I cannot draw this awesome. You see my drawings; they're not this cool.
C deck, E deck, C,
and D decks over here, of course. That's why the ship hasn't sunk. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it back into his pockets. So I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, alright? No! Come on, just do it, alright? Ooh. He pushed the E button and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth as she was trying to make a decision, when suddenly, I'm coming with you, huh?
Oh yeah.
You freaking had it. Junpei jammed his finger against the open button, but it was too late. Oh man, epic Family Guy reference. The door had shut, and he and June were in the elevator, and it was headed down to E deck.
I thought I crushed her and was gonna kill her.
Oh my god, you're so evil.
I thought she was trying to step in, and he tried to open the door, but it closed on her. Her head was gonna be like.
Oh my god, you're so evil. Why would you think that, man?
That's just what the first thing I thought.
Oh my god, Kilo, seek help. Nah, I'm playing. They stepped off the floor outside the elevator. Nothing seemed especially unusual. No fish going about their fishy business. Oh wow. Or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish, or at least something that looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out, and the mouth. Oh my god. Oh, knock it off. It's just what like I thought. The part hasn't been flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here. June looked around nervously, then, exhaled. You're right. It's not flooded at all. See? I told you so, but there's a whole lot of water. Yeah, right on top of us. What's gonna happen if the ceiling breaks? We don't want to think about that. Up there. Yes, come on, let's just check it out. You guys talk so much. Loris and Santa might already be back. Alright.
Thought I was watching Metal Gear Solid 4 LP for a second.
Yo, it's been 10 minutes, right? Junpei glanced around the room they found themselves in. Okay, we're almost close. We're actually right there. We're about to stop. And the first thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one. Well, we can't go over there, of course, right? Then perhaps in the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening. He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner. Oh shit! Oh my god, I saw that as something else. Holy crap, that scared the fuck out of me. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. That's a long straight hallway stretched out in front of him. That door at the end of the hallway, there's something written on it. Yeah, let's go have a look. Dude, like, could you imagine just like peeking your head and seeing a fucking door with a number on it? I don't know why, that's so jarring. Like, I don't know why. Junpei and June sit down the hallway at a brisk clip, somewhere between a run and a jog. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door.
I'd hope not. It wasn't that far of a distance.
Well, they are pressed on time. You know, on it was a number written, bright red paint, 6. I knew it. This is a numbered door. Oh yeah, no shit. Of course, there were only 2 people. There wasn't much they could do with it. All right, let's head back. Yes. Junpei and June turned and headed back towards C deck. On the way back, Junpei noticed a map on the wall. As it turned out, it was a burn map. Map of the ship's interior for E deck. Oh shit. Huh? So you guys found door 1? They met up with these guys. So on the next time, we're gonna pick this up from here. Actually, let me read the last part. Apparently, okay. Next time, according to Santa Lotus, there was number 1 on the door. As it all told, they discovered 2 new doors, door 1 and 6. Okay, this is perfect. Let's stop right here.
Alright.
Yes, I would like. I'm gonna have to block these out because, of course, don't look. Actually, Kilo, cover your eyes. These are the endings, so don't look at these. He's gonna look at them. Watch.
My eyes are covered right now.
Okay. I had to edit that out in the actual thing. Okay, you're free.
All
Alright, guys, thanks for watching. The next episode, we're going to pick it up from right here with Lotus doing her little fucking Macwell impersonation.
Yeah. Peace.
Rubbing her chin hair like my teacher, Miss. Don't say it. Okay, anyway, Kilo, my boy, it's been a pleasure having you. Thanks for
It's
joining.
a pleasure to be with you.
Okay,
in
man.
video.
Yeah. We're going to pick it up next time, but unfortunately, Kilo won't be with us. Or will
I
he?
said peace.
Paris!